Okay, in this video we're going to finish up on creating our first web page. And in the last lecture I went over how to kind of shore up these individual divs and place them in the right area that you want them based on your layout in Photoshop. And we did it quickly, so I wasn't able to spend a lot of time measuring things up, but I think you get the idea of how you need to sort of get everything sort of squared away according to the grid that you proposed in your layout originally in Photoshop. Okay, so I believe we've got everything pretty much in position, and we're ready to get started with adding content. Okay, so remember all those slices that you created last week? Well, now they're going to come into play because now you've got all of your CSS styling in place for positioning of the elements, and you've got all your structure applied in terms of HTML. So now you're ready to put content in here. Now, as I mentioned, the wrapper itself is actually just a blank region. All it really does is hold all of the individual pieces together. So we're not really going to put any content into the wrapper, at least not in this example. But we are going to put some content in our header. So I'm going to go ahead and select the header division and put my cursor in there. And you can kind of see when I click in there, I get a blinking cursor in there. And I'm going to go up to Insert, and I'm going to say Image. Okay, and this time I'm going to go out to my Images folder, that Images folder that you've been, creating and working with now for the last couple of weeks. And I'm going to grab that header graphic, which happens to be this one here, and I'm going to say Open. And it's going to bring up this image tag accessibilities attributes, and I'm going to just basically say header graphic. Okay, and all this really is here, the alternate text, is if somebody is looking at your website that is blind and they're using a screen reader, the screen reader has something to say. So it's going to say header graphic. Okay, so let's go ahead and say OK. And notice that that header graphic, since I've already adjusted my division to be the exact same size as that header graphic, it just sits right in place exactly how I'd like it to look. Okay, so looks good. Okay, now this division over here is going to contain text in it. All right, so I'm going to go out to that text document that I've told you need to have, and I'm going to grab the first amount of text here, which is my name and title, copy it, and come over here into this division and paste it in. Okay, now of course at this point nothing's going to really look in terms of text how you want it, but in time we'll eventually massage this layout to look exactly how we want it to look. Over here in this division, we want to place in my G-slice or my logo. So I'm going to select that division until I get a blank cursor in there. And I'm going to go Insert Image. And I'm going to grab my G-slice image, and I'm going to say G-slice, or I'm going to say logo here, because if a screen reader says G-slice, I don't think someone who's blind is going to understand what that means. So I'm going to say logo. It makes more sense. And my logo is going to come in. And over here, I am going to select this. Now, this goes back to the video on how to add Spry. We're going to add our Spry navigation because this is my navigation div. Notice over here it's selected. I also have if you hover down here, it also tells you what division you're on. It says div # nav. So I'm going to select this division, and I'm going to say Insert, and this time I'm going to pull down to Spry, and I'm going to select Spry menu bar, and this is, you can look over your video on this in Lynda, and I'm going to add a vertical Spry menu. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. Oops, that was not what I wanted. It didn't go where I wanted it to go. Okay, so let's say Insert, Spry, menu bar, and let's go here. Okay, there. I must have clicked off of it. You need to make sure that you are clicked on that division so that it puts the Spry menu inside of the menu area that you want to work with. Okay, so far I've got my menu bar in here. And over here, I'm going to select this division, and this time I'm going to go back to that text document, and I'm going to copy that text, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. And I have information populating all of those divisions now. So I'm starting to get a step closer to formatting and styling this HTML page. Okay. Now I might do some additional things to also further style this page, but I'm going to leave that for the next video.